Oof, cranky. Hey, Foxx. Foxx.
Hello.
Foxx.
Oh, morning.
They're back.
Do that to me, Ted.
Has it been a week already?
I was dreaming about cakes.
I
don't want to know what you were dreaming about.
I'm not going to tell you. I'm not going to
Leftones.
tell you. Anyway, here, somebody made a noise. That must have been what it was. There was a noise. Somebody woke us up. Right. Right. Good evening, everybody. Good evening and welcome to the first autumnal edition of the live stream from eModels with
It is the autumn. Everything is dying. It's going cold and wet and grim because I'm in Manchester. It's normal for Manchester.
Hello. Yep. So hello, guys. It's us in the northern hemisphere, up here in north. For you guys,
apologies for singing at you. I didn't mean to torture everybody like that.
Yeah. Right. We've been sat here a week waiting for you all to come back. We've been really busy in that time. We'll be doing all sorts of things. Right. It's hello, Foxx. How are you?
Hello. How are you, Tedward?
Fine. I've been busy. Been lots of things. No, we haven't been sleeping at all. But I noticed when we come in now, when we get here, there's already lots of folk here, and they've been here, it seems, for ages. I'll go right to the top. Who? I think Gross Models was about first in tonight. Right. Hey, Richard Forzan says hello from El Paso, Texas.
Ooh, El Paso, Texas. Good pronunciation there, Ted. You're getting better.
Is that where the tacos come from?
No, it's a company that makes them. It's called Old El Paso.
Well,
so I guess they do. Maybe. It's probably not American.
Yeah, Richard, if you know if tacos come from El Paso, let us know. Right, so that's gay. That's dedication coming all the way from the USA. Simon O'Callaghan, Gross Models. Yeah, there's a lot of them talking together themselves before anybody gets here. They're standing in the front, stopping everybody getting in. Ed Maff, Tim Wilkinson. He's Tim. Evening all. I'm a newbie here, so please be gentle with me. A newbie. It's a newbie.
Yeah.
Don't say to him, guys.
Get the special trousers.
Yeah.
And the bucket.
What else? Gross Models says he's been sticking stuff together. That's all right. Tim Wilkins, Simon Callahan, Matthew Drake. Matthew's in again. Hi, Matthew.
And we have, of course, Scott from Ted. Where is Scott from?
Orkney.
Good girl.
Yes, got it again. Simon Callahan said, I've technically joined Ferrari. Sorry, why did I read that as Ferrari? I've technically joined #Team144.
Where did you get Ferrari from?
I don't know. How did you get Ferrari from that?
If you start hiding under the desk going about buzz bombs and the Blitz, we know to find someone for you.
Yeah, right. Nat Blaze, Happy Monday, people. Happy Mondays. That was a group, wasn't it? I remember that.
Yes, it was a good Manchester group, I think. Was it Manchester? I don't know. I don't do music. Not that kind of music. So.
Richard Forzan said he's got the F22 Raptor on his workbench. He's either got a workbench the size of the Earth, or he's got a model of it.
Ted, are you ringing?
It's my son. Hang on, I have to decline it. It's all right.
Well timed.
Yeah, well timed. I'm busy. Right.
Can't talk. I'm on the telly.
Yeah, I'm on the phone. Hello, I'm on the phone.
For those of you who don't know, on the eModels page today, a Pete mate put up a photograph of him watching the live stream, I assume in his kitchen, and it was on a telly. So we've actually been on the telly. Oh,
right. I never saw that. I haven't looked. I haven't had a chance to look. I've come straight home from work, had my tea, got in here, started setting everything up. So I'll have to go and have a look at that. So is that what he does? Sits with his
I guess so. It looks like it's in the kitchen. Somebody probably sits at the breakfast bar with a nice G&T.
So he's not in the living room.
And gets us on the big telly.
A big telly in the kitchen. That is posh, isn't it?
I know. Well posh.
Posh telly in the kitchen.
Some money in this model selling, like, you know.
Right. I was wondering if it was in the living room with his slippers on and a pipe.
Yeah, that's just you, Ted.
It's probably the wife says, "You're not having that in here. Get that out."
Oh, that rubbish again.
Yeah, you're working on that again. Yeah, we're like Coronation Street. Are we going to try for 6 episodes a week, something like that?
Yeah.
No,
I don't fancy the idea of doing sex scandals and things like that. We're
yeah,
all blokes. It's not going to work well.
no, it's not going to end well. It's not going to end well. Right. Going down. Carry on down. Everybody's in. The usual people are coming in. They're all talking amongst themselves. I think you had a question earlier as well that you answered.
Yeah, I'll cover that off in a bit. Vincent asked a question, so remind me to talk about Vincent. Everybody in the chat's seen it, but those who haven't watching. By the way, do remember, if you're watching this on the eModels website, on emodels.co.uk/live, if you want to join in the live chat, you can just go to the bottom of the video player where it says YouTube and click on that, and that will take you to the YouTube channel where you can join in the live chat and we can answer your questions. You're more than welcome to watch without that. If you're on a tablet or something like that, you might not be able to do chat. But if you're on desktop PC, click on the little YouTube icon and it will take you to YouTube where this is being streamed. And also, very quickly, we have in the chat Chris from Gross Models and TK from TK's Models and Ant from Bashing Kits. All of you are your moderators for this evening. As always, it's a family-friendly little show. So do be nice to your mods and they'll look after you. You guys don't need much taking care of. You look after yourselves anyway. Yeah. But just to say, be nice to your mods and they'll look after you.
Yeah, well, if you do see anything happening, if we don't see it, point it out to the mods.
Yes.
They'll hopefully see it and they'll sort something out. Yeah. Oh.
And last of all, if you want to post a question, we depend on you asking us questions. That's how we get going for an hour and a half each time. Do post questions, but so we see them because we miss most of the chat because it goes so fast. Do post your question in all big fat capital letters so it can stand out.
Yeah, post it in bold.
Yeah.
Bold.
We probably will miss a lot of them, so apologies if you ask a question we don't answer it, but we try and see as many as we can.
There's an interesting question. What's your favourite beer? All of them? All of it?
Beer. Ale, not fizzy lager nonsense. It's ale.
Yeah, it's got to have head on it as well. It's got to have that much head.
Yeah, it's got to be not fizzy. Black, dark with twigs and dead things in it.
Lukewarm.
My absolute favourite, I'll tell you now, is Dunham Milk Stout.
Milk Stout?
Dunham Milk Stout. It's made in the Dunham Brewery in Dunham, just near where I live. And
that's what all ladies drink. It's
the best beer ever. It's like black like my phone screen, and it just tastes like niceness. It's delicious. Good session beer as well because it's not fizzy.
Yeah, don't blow it up.
Rancid burps at 3 in the morning.
Yeah. Right.
You get other rancid things, but just not the burps.
Yeah. Right, Stefan Last says, also newbie at first, just about to get back into modelling after a couple of decades away. Been lurking for a while, here for inspiration and tips. Right, you won't get any of that here. Not intentionally anyway. Well, you probably will. You'll get inspiration. These guys will convince you to build things. Build a tank. You've got to build a tank. If you want to get back into modelling, you've got to build a tank. Isn't that right? Isn't that right, Foxx?
Yes, it's a good. As long as you don't absolutely hate military models, because if you absolutely hate military models, don't bother building a tank. But as a good sort of get your toes back in and just get your sort of your habits back in. A tank is great because they're not hard to build, especially if it's like a Tamiya or something. They're not hard to build, and you can go to town on the weathering if you want to practice or get back used to doing weathering, because tanks get filthy dead easy. They're covered in mud and dirt and twigs and animals and things and stuff and spiders and everything. So tanks are really great sort of get back into the swing of it kind of kits because they're not hard.
Yeah, all joking aside, I was just joking about having to build a tank. You build what you like. You build what interests you, because if it doesn't interest you, you're going to put it to one side and you're going to forget about it and you're going to go off and do something else. Have a look around at eModels website. There's everything in there from tanks to comic vehicles. The Scooby-Doo mobile, for instance. I think we give that away one week.
Yeah, I think we did. They have comic book characters. Yeah, so I'm cleaning my glasses. I've got smooge on them. To me with no glasses on, it's not right, is it?
Hello, we're over here.
Wow, Ted, you're now in focus. It's brilliant.
Yeah, that's it. I am in focus. Everybody else hasn't got the glasses on. Get yourself along to a certain company that specs.
Yeah, there's a couple of other questions I've just spotted which I can answer really, really quickly.
Yep.
Let's have a look. Eltje van der Werf says, question, is the oil brusher Starship Filth any good for gunk wash, or should I get the tube? I'm on tablet, by the way, no problems with the chat. That's really good. The oil brusher Starship Filth is not really any good for gunk washing because it's the thin liquid. It's good for panel washing and doing streaks and stuff, but you need the thickness of the tube paint to really cake your part in it and then rub it off. It might work, but it's not.
I've used it in small areas, really tiny small areas. Rather than get the tube out, I've just got the oil brush out and just coated it down with that. But it's really, the brush is too small. It's thinned.
Yeah, the paint's thinner.
Yeah, so
it's more for your detailed weathering, like your pin washes or your dot filter technique or your streaking or anything like that. It's brilliant. They're absolutely brilliant. You can't spill them, which is brilliant for me and Tony. But for doing a proper gunk wash, and for those that don't know, a gunk wash is when you take a bit of your model, you completely cover it in oil paint, and then you rub the oil paint off, and you're just left with the oil paint in the recesses. It's like a tint and a filter and a pin wash all in one. You really need the gloopiness and thickness of oil paint from the tube to do that. Yep. The second question was somewhere. Ron Mack. Question, today I was spraying a Tamiya spray can on my 148 FX Meteor, good kit, and it wrinkled. Any idea what happened? I used Vallejo primer. Depends what you mean by wrinkled. If you mean literally it kind of went and you get little crinkles and it goes like that, you were spraying it too much, too close, and not moving around enough.
Yeah.
With any if it's a rattle can, you want to, and you've seen it in my videos. I do the press pan release. You press the button away from the model, move it across, and then release it away from the model, and you just move at that kind of speed, and you do it from about 30 centimeters or more away because you want to build up the color with mist. The problem with the rattle can is, well, the good thing about a rattle can is it's got a really wide field of spray, so it just puts the paint out. The problem with the rattle can is it throws paint out like a hose pipe. So if you sit there and you just kind of go like that, it will pool up really quickly and you'll get too much paint and it'll wrinkle. So I suspect you're either too close or you are holding it in one place for too long. You really have to keep it moving, and you can go really, really fast just to build up the color really, really. So it's not like an airbrush. You have to really keep it moving, and don't press the button or release the button on the model, because when you first press that button on the top, bits of paint that are stuck in the nozzle will go out like that. So you'll also get lumps. So about 30 centimeters or more away, keep it moving, don't stop. If you ever see me on video when I'm spray canning outside, I literally kind of go, I get myself a rattle can and I literally kind of go psh, psh, psh. I'm like this. I'm not standing still. I'm waving my arm around like a manic conductor. Yeah. And that's the trick. If you hold it in one place, you put in so much paint out, you're going to flood the part, and then when it does dry, it'll crust over and wrinkle like really nice thick gravy.
Yeah. Another thing, if you are spraying outside in weather like this, it could be too cold, could be too damp as well. It's just taking some moisture into it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
You need to make sure it's a reasonably dry day, not too hot because it'll dry before it hits the model, but just a reasonably warm day and not humid and not damp. Is
this right? You used to have a tent in the garden. You used to put a tent up and spray
when I did the last time I did the Revell 172nd U-boat that's 3 foot long, I was rattle canning it because I didn't have an airbrush at that point, and I had to put it on the desk, and so I decided to rattle can it. So I got myself a little cheap tent and put it up in the garden and got in this tent with my respirator on and was like this. Spray. Worst idea ever, trust me. Because even with the respirator, you come out and all you do is stink of paint for like about 2 days. It was a good idea to keep the rain off because it was autumn.
Bit of innovation there, yeah, maybe.
It wasn't a bad idea, but if you're spraying something 3 feet long, it was a bad idea.
Yeah, well, maybe one of them gazebos might have been a better idea. Just shove it over, keep the rain off. But never mind.
Well, I wanted it away from the rain and stuff. So if you've not got an airbrush, you've not got a spray booth, but you're using rattle cans, something like that is brilliant, because you don't want to use rattle cans indoors because everybody else in the house will hate you forever and you will probably poison yourself. So you want to do rattle cans outdoors, but this time of year in the northern hemisphere, it's kind of cold and wet. So
there are no spiders to get stuck in your paint.
Good point. I did have a little creature. I painted something once outdoors with a rattle can. I think it was a Fine Mods Y-wing, and I put the white paint on it and I walked away because it was a nice warm day. And I came back and the paint job was perfect, apart from there were little footprints going across one of the parts because a little tiny creature had walked across my model. I left them as paint chips. They were in scale, so it worked.
Right, moving down. Hope that works for your run. To his favourite.
Your turn to do some questions, Tedward.
Mr. Loth model making. His favourite beer is Belgian. It's almost impossible with hundreds of different specialty beers available.
I do like just to interrupt. I do like Belgian beer, but where I am, you go into a Belgian beer shop and you get a demi. So it's a small amount of beer and it's like £300, and I'm like,
yes,
no.
Yes.
Yeah. And I don't like ones that taste like they're made of like flowering plants.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, I quite like German and the Belgian type lagers, really, aren't they? They're more of a lager than a beer. Yeah, they're nice and thirst quenching and remind you of your holidays, but they're a bit difficult and expensive to get over.
Yeah. Just give me ale. That's all I want. Ale, proper man's ale. I'll go to an IPA or a pale ale, an IPA at the fizziest and lageriest. As far as I'll go.
Yeah.
Give me a nice pat of Dunner Milk Stout or Dukas. Dukas is really nice. Spitfire's quite good. Old Speckled Hen.
Yeah, they're good. Yeah, they're good.
Old Speckled Hen does an IPA now. I must try that out. There are some other the best beer ever. If you want we shouldn't really be doing this on this podcast because it's kids watching. But if you're able to get some Robinson's Old Tom. I won't explain it. Just if you can see it, you find it, get it and try it.
Remember, drinkaware.com. Yes,
drink responsibly. Don't drink and build. You'll just stump yourself.
Yeah.
Or paint something really badly.
Next question from Kenneth M. Question, Ted, where have all the massive sprues gone? They used to be behind me. They did. I've had a tidy up and I've had a build as well. I've been building the U-boat and filming it, which is just about ready now. I was going to put it hopefully out this weekend, but came to the editing. And what you can do with this editing suite is drag and drop your footage in. So I dragged and dropped my footage in and edited it all up. Then I thought, right, I'll just have a listen or a watch, see what it is. Got to the first section, watched and waited. No sound on it. Well, you can see the hands. Hands are all doing this and showing things. No sound. No sound.
You have to record some voiceover, Ted.
Yes, I've tried doing a voiceover. So,
well, luckily, you and I both have a microphone that's absolutely perfect for close-up voice work. So,
I'll have a discussion with you about it afterwards. I think we're going to get it sorted. Either I'll refilm it. Fortunately, it's hopefully only a short strip.
Oh, you don't need to refilm it. Just voice over it. And that's what I do a lot of times.
Or I'll do it in a black and white style and lots of playing the piano and lots of. I'll speed it up. Right, yeah, so that's where they've all gone, Kenneth. They've been used, they've been put away, ready for the next section, and the video will be with us very shortly.
Question for Kenneth: has your chair turned up yet, and how is it? For those who might remember last week, he was saying he's getting a new modelling chair, which is specially designed with airbags and stuff for people with back problems. I don't know if it's turned up yet, but if it has, how is it? Is it good? $4,000 worth of chair, so it must be good.
Yeah. Airbags, is that in case you crash in your chair?
In case you paint too fast.
Yeah, the speed. Yeah. If you have impact with an airbrush or something.
If you change colours without a clutch. You see what I did there with the. Never mind.
Right. Right. Who else? Yeah. Right. Cool. We must have some more chat. Yes. Right. Over to the questions.
I'll very quickly because I just remembered, and I will forget if I don't. I'll answer the question that Vincent asked in the chat earlier on. Vincent at Mr. Loth's model making saying he was spraying something today and he put the base color down and he got fish eyes. He got little, if you look at fish eyes in paint, it's basically little dimples, where the paint goes like that, or it can be a bubble that pops and you get a little crater. And he was asking what caused that. And it turns out it's a resin kit and it's probably just mold release on the resin kit. But the general rule of thumb is, especially if you're spraying anything that's a solvent based paint, so lacquers, especially enamels, even if it's just a normal plastic model kit. If you go into a body shop, let's say a proper car body shop where you take your car to get resprayed, if you were to walk into the spraying room with a can of WD-40, the owner of the body shop would beat you insensible because they use solvent-based paints a lot of the time in car body shops, and solvent-based paints are horribly affected by anything that's got oils in it, like WD-40, grease from the car itself. It could be hairspray on somebody spraying. It could be deodorant, perfume, anything that's got kind of oils or anything like that in there. or water-based that can react with the solvents in the paint. And it's the same with model making. In Vincent's case, he had a resin kit and he painted on the primer and then the paint. But what's happened is there's probably still, it may well be just the mold release agent that's on there and it's come through. Basically, it breaks the surface tension of the paint, but it could also be any kind of oil or anything like that that's going to break the surface tension of the paint. It's just going to, if it's on the surface, say you've got the surface of a model here, and I've had my finger in some WD-40 and I've gone like that, and then I've just left it and I paint over it, even with, not so much with acrylics, but with enamels that take a few days to fully cure. What happens is, while the enamel paint is curing, it's reacting with the oils. It's breaking the surface tension, and sometimes you'll get a little bubble of vapor will come out through the paint, and that's where you get your fisheye. So if you're using solvent-based paints, lacquer paints, anything like that, or any kind of paint really, just make sure your pieces are clean, especially if you're using lacquers, because they are really susceptible. And if you're using resin, make sure it's really cleaned off.
Oh, excellent. Right. I think, is that a piece of your eagle, by the way?
Yes. What's that? I've just had an email.
Yeah, because...
Oh, okay. Yes, that Big Master Chief's finished now, so I've cracked on with the eagle.
Yeah, because there's a question. How's eagle coming on? And when's the next video?
Well, the eagle hasn't gone anywhere since this morning when I got a load of parts ready and sanded them and denubbed them. So I've got all the parts for the engines at the back. I have bulbous things. Bulbous things. And I have all the bits of framework for that. I've built the pods, the landing pods that the legs go in. And I started assembling the legs. I haven't filmed this or assembling the legs because it's fairly straightforward. There's nothing really to show. So I just went ahead and did those. So tomorrow I'm going to crack on with starting to film the next episode. But what I will show you, because as you know, for the last few weeks, I have had to come off this because I've had to do my big Master Chief. I finished the Master Chief. And I'll show you now. If I may quickly screen share.
Yeah, I'll look it on you.
So you look it to me, Edward?
Yeah, I'll look it on you.
Let me know when you're done.
Done.
Done. Yay. I will show you the big Master Chief. If you remember, it was the big Jack Specific 31-inch action figure, effectively. It's a polypropylene thing, and it's just massive. I can't show you on camera because it's enormous, but this is how it came out. Let me find it. It is here. Go on, share it. I can't see the button on my screen. There we go. This is how it came out. On the left, you can see just the basic figure that you get in simple green, 2 shades of green and some dark grey for the plastic and some really rubbishy orange for the visor. And here's how it came out. I'm quite happy with how it turned out, to be honest. Using a mixture of Tamiya paints and some Citadel paints, a bit of dry brushing, a bit of weathering, nothing too complicated. I basically did some paint chipping and some dry brushing of metallics. I did some washes with oil paints that was supposed to be a filter, but it turned out more like a wash because I kind of screwed it up. And the little ammo counter, which I'm particularly proud of at the top right of the corner there in the picture, is literally some Ammo by Mig crystal blue. And I didn't airbrush it. I just basically took the plastic shape and dropped the blue paint on it, and it pooled and gave that natural shade between the light and the dark at the top. So sometimes just getting a transparent paint and just dumping it on your piece in massive amounts so it forms like a bubble over the top, it gets some great shading effects without you having to do any effort at all. So that's where the Master Chief came up. So he's done now. It's already been sold, so happy times. That was I had to rush that because I needed to get him sold to get my MOT and car tax and stuff paid off. Am I back?
You're back. You're back with us. Yep.
Yeah, you can take it off me now. So yeah, so that's done now, and that's gone and sold. So back to the Eagle. Yes.
Yeah. Right. Question: would you do it? Would you do it again if somebody says, "I've got one of these master grade, whatever it was. I forgot what it was now."
What, them big figures?
One of the big figures. Yeah. Would you do it again?
I probably would, because the actual painting of it wasn't hard. The only difficulty was because it's polypropylene, I used a bog standard normal model making primer, which won't grip to polypropylene very well. I didn't realize it was polypropylene. And most primers won't grip to that. It's the same plastic you get in a car bumper. So you need to use specific primers that are designed to grip to things like polypropylene, because it's a very hard plastic, but flexible, but really hard. So paint can't permeate it and can't etch into it. So a primer, sorry, can't etch into it. So I had some issues where the primer was on and then I got the paint on top and the varnish layers, and they were fairly tough. but you could easily remove them. So I couldn't do pretty much any masking on that at all, apart from the visor, which I just took the risk and put loads of extra matte varnish over the paint job before I did the visor. So I couldn't do any masking. So all the stuff you see on there is basically a mixture of either hand painting, where I've got different color parts, say on the rifle, or the armor. I literally airbrushed. I just airbrushed really carefully around the edges, and it somehow came out all right. So yes, if I did one again, I'd make sure I used the correct primer.
Mm-hmm.
But they are great fun. If anybody's out there, those figures, they're like 30 quid. They've got Superman and Batman. I wouldn't recommend Superman because Superman's rubbish. But they are really good. They're not hard. You don't have to learn any new techniques, but it will take you they're kind of exhausting because they're so big. So whatever techniques you use are just the normal techniques, but on a massive scale. So doing the chipping took me forever. Gloss varnishing it before I did the weathering, before I did a gunk wash, it took me about 2 days just to get a gloss varnish on all the different parts because they're so big.
So it's probably not a project to do on the sort of a lap table in front of the TV.
No, I mean, I had to take the whole thing apart to work on it here. But normally when you do a model, let's say even when you're gloss varnishing, you get all the parts on sticks and you gloss varnish them and you put them in a box and you cover it so they don't get dust. Unfortunately, I could fit like about 3 of the parts in a plastic box. I still had like 30 parts left. The smallest one was the head. It was about this big. So yeah, it's kind of challenging because it's big. It's not challenging because it's hard. You can use all your normal techniques. It just takes a long time. So be prepared for some grind, especially gloss varnishing. It took me a good 2.5 days of like many hours each day. And that when you're doing gloss varnishing through an airbrush, yeah, you're cleaning out the airbrush every couple of hours. It's like, I'm so bored of this now, but it worked in the end.
Yeah, Chris said you should stick to some 1/44 figures.
That's too small.
But we've got the new eModels builder. He can do them.
Yes, you see, Chris at Gross Models and Ant. If you remember last week, we announced Ant as the new eModels video builder. I know what his next project is, and it is 1/144th. That's all I'll say. But yeah, they're both experts at painting stupidly tiny things like figures this big. I can't do that. I've not got the eyesight for it or the steady hand. Look, I shoot with that hand.
Right, I did another question there. Some kits come with plastic mesh to work the gratings. What's the best stuff to glue it to a kit? I've tried all sorts and find it really hard to attach. I think it means the nylon-y type. Well, not nylon. It's sort of the plastic. Yeah,
you mean the really flexible, like rubbery stuff?
Yeah. I think I had some on the Tamiya Challenger tank.
Yeah, it's like the same kind of stuff you get tank tracks and polycaps made out of it. It's that kind of flexible.
Yeah, it doesn't melt. It doesn't melt when they attach it with the plastic. There's a couple of ways you can do it. If you're applying it to, say, a sprue, say a round piece of plastic like that, what you could sometimes try and do is apply some Tamiya extra thin to the plastic, and then press your plastic netting into it and leave it to set, and it will sort of embed itself into the plastic. Another way you can sometimes find it'll glue with not photo etch, super glue, as you use for photo etch, or sometimes PVA glue, Elmer's glue, wherever you are in the world, will do it as well. But the lot, yeah, you can persevere. It will glue. As I say, if it's only a small piece, maybe at the bottom of a netting in a equipment basket on the side of a tank, you can sometimes find you'll be able to press it in by softening the plastic with the styrene glue. That'll do it.
There was another question, just to clarify what you were saying there, Ted, when you were saying about like it will embed the mesh into the plastic. The glue itself probably won't have any effect on if it's the rubbery plastic mesh. Yeah. It won't have any effect on that. There's no bond. What it will do is it will soften the plastic. You push the mesh in, and the plastic will go around. As it melts, it will go around the mesh, and as it hardens, it will hold the mesh in place. So you're not actually bonding anything. You're just kind of merging the mesh into the plastic, and the plastic will kind of go solid around it.
You're really going to have to leave it to let the plastic go. Often when you're building your kit, you can put your glue together, glue a few things, leave it for a couple of minutes, and then it's sort of enough to work on. But this stuff, you're going to have to leave it to let the plastic go hard again for it to work properly. So that's one way of
let's have a look. There was a question. Kenneth says, question, were the 4 leftover screws, because I had 4 screws left at the end, included in the Master Chief sale? No, after I'd filmed my video about it and stuff, I'd said there were 4 screws left over and I was confused. I remembered there were 4 screw holes in his butt. In the what would be the soft part of his armor, the undersuit, I filled those in with filler. So I didn't need those screws. They weren't essential screws, so that's where the 4 leftover screws came from. So he's not going to fall. His butt's not going to fall off, I hope, at any point soon. There was another question. Let's have a look.
Bashing Kits is waiting on a sticker for the bench. Well, he's got to be the first one really to get one, isn't he?
Yeah. There are new stickers coming. Pete Mate is ordering new ones, new improved stickers.
Yep. So
I will just take a drink from our eModels mug. There are apparently new improved stickers coming along.
We await their pending arrival, but and the new builder's probably going to get the first ones, I would have thought, to go on his bench.
Yeah, I think he's getting some.
Yeah,
he also asks if there are any second-hand eModels kits around. Well, there'll be an Eagle when that's finished, and there'll be a big U-boat in Ted's side.
yeah, we need somewhere to store them. Round at Ant's house, he's got room on his shelves with all them small things.
Yeah, Beyond Hope says, hi guys, just been watching Star Trek Discovery. No spoilers, but after 2 episodes, meh. Off topic from model making, but I watched the first 2 episodes as well, and I actually didn't mind it. But then again, I'm not really fussed about, how it looks or what the Klingons look like or whether it follows the... I found it entertaining. You have to remember that pilots are always terrible compared to the rest of it. Go and watch Broken Bow, which was the first Enterprise. Not that it got much better after that. That was actually a good one. Go and look at the pilot for DS9 or the pilots for Next Generation. They weren't great, but things got better. So there's a lot of setup in the pilot episode, so you kind of have to forgive them for that. I'm waiting to see what the rest of the series looks like. I just can't get around the fact that Harry Mudd looks like Will from Tested. It's weird.
No, I did see a comment by somebody that said they were back new to modelling after 30 odd years, and they'd chosen a Star Trek kit. I'm assuming it was a Star Trek kit. He said it was an Enterprise or something, and he was going to light it up as well. So not only does he come back after 30 years modelling, after 30 years from not modelling, he's chosen a kit that he's chosen to light as well.
Yeah, that's a heck of a good way, because it's really diving at the deep end, because traditionally Star Trek kits, if it's an AMT or a Revell, they're not easy to build and get looking good.
Yeah, it's Andy Podmore. He's building his first model in 30 years. It's Revell's Into Darkness Enterprise, and he's in the process of lighting it too. He must be mad, he says.
All right. In that case, it's a modern Star Trek kit. So it's probably a lot better than the 90s and previous Star Trek kits. And you're lighting it as well, so good effort. Let us know how it goes.
Let's see some pictures of your build when you've got it done.
Yeah. That actually brings me to a good point, because I was about to say make sure to post it up in the gallery. I will bring the gallery up. Just a reminder. Let me just find it now, and I'll do a screen share. Just a reminder to you all. Let me do it. You lock it on me, Ted, and I'll screen share it.
It's locked on you.
Cool beans. And take but a moment. I can't see the buttons because my camera's in the way. So, yes, just a reminder, there is now a new gallery section on the eModels website, and it's quite simple. I know, ignore the address at the top. It's just emodels.co.uk/gallery. It changes to gallery 2, but you don't need to type gallery 2. And this is where you can show off all your model making shenanigans. There's all different categories. All you do is choose which one most applies to your model. Let's say, for example, aircraft. Go into that section. You can see there's quite a few in there already. And at the very top, it will just say upload photo. So you click on that and then go through the steps to upload your photo. The reason you want to do this is because it's cool to show off how, your skills. It's also cool to get feedback, because it's a nice little community building up. So everybody's getting feedback on each other's builds. However, at the start of each month, we will also do a little sort of prize draw. Ted and I will go through all the gallery submissions, and we will pick out the 5-star review build that we like the best, that caught our eye the most, and that's really brilliant. And we'll pick one out, and that person will win a prize. And we'll do that on the 1st of November, and then the 1st of each month from then on. So when you finished it, get some pictures up there, get some reviews going, and any of you, just post your builds up and get some reviews going. Go and review some other people's stuff, because if you review people's stuff, they'll review yours back, and karma will be nice to you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
as we said, we might not just pick a winning model one month. We may pick the best review, a nice, somebody that's been nice about something, give a bit of positive feedback. That might be a case. We might be able to award a prize, just a little prize or something for a reviewer. So yeah, get your reviews in. And
take it off me now, by the way, Ted, if it's still locked on me.
Right, yeah, it's still locked on you. And also as well, it doesn't have to be a model that you bought from eModels. Let's have a look at your work. Let's see.
There's scratch built stuff on there. That's obviously not from eModels. I've put a Gundam on there, so it doesn't matter what it is, as long as it's something you've put together and built and painted. And don't worry, we're not looking for, wow, that's the best model I've ever seen. There are some amazing looking builds on there, but there are some other builds from all different levels of skill, and we're going to look for the one that we look at and think, yeah, I like that. It won't necessarily be the most technically competent one, but the one to us that shows that you've got a passion and an enjoyment of what you're doing, that you've had fun doing it, and that you've really put all your all into it. So it's not going to be, we're not going to necessarily pick out the bestest build in the world. It could be something quite straightforward. It could be a kit that you've just put together and weathered a little bit, and that's it.
It could be a kit that we're saying that's obviously come from a beginner, and it's maybe the first, second, beginners kits. Beginners are the sort of the acorns that budding trees will grow out of.
You lost a grip on that little analogy, didn't you?
Yeah, I lost a bit.
It ran away from you.
Yeah, I did it. It was all good up here, but when it came out of here, it was rubbish.
Yeah, basically, don't worry if you look at your picture and think, oh wow, this is terrible. It's never going to win anything. We're not looking for the most professional builds. We might do one that looks absolutely incredible, or we might do one that, like Ted says, is like one of those little Airfix beginner, almost like Lego kits that they've put together and done some stuff on. So whatever you've done, put it on. Just make sure it's a nice photo, and we'll have a look. First of each month, we will draw a random winner. We'll draw a winner.
Yeah, I don't think that because you put your picture on in September and you haven't built anything else since, that your one in September might not be judged in December, because we'll have a look at them all again.
Yeah, we look at the whole collection of pictures, not just the ones that were uploaded that month. So, but the 1st of November is the first one we're going to do. So stay tuned. Get uploading, get reviewing.
Yeah, I think there's a Corsair for up for grabs in there. It's on the website.
Yes, it's the new release Tamiya 135th Corsair kit.
So it's going to be a nice model. Yeah, and we do have a giveaway from last week as well. We won't do it just yet. We'll do it later on in the program. So keep watching and see if you've won. And obviously, as we've said in the sort of press release, and we know from what happens each week, we never know what's going to happen, what the giveaways are going to be. If there is going to be any giveaways, we just have to wait from the messages.
Alex Kutal says, question, will a 3D print count as a model? Absolutely. As long as you've done something to it, like, a bit of painting, you've cleaned it up or whatever. Doesn't matter where it comes from. It could be something you've carved out of rock yourself. It could be hewn from wood. It doesn't matter. It's to show off your creative happiness and enjoyment of the thing. So
but try and be restrictive though. Try and restrict yourself to maybe 1 or 2 photographs of a model. We don't want a full build stream.
Yeah, probably just one's just one is great, because we'll have so many to go through anyway.
Yeah, so that's it.
One of each. You can do as many pictures you want, but try and make them each of a different subject.
Right. I'll have a look on the emails and see what's come through the emails tonight. Please continue. This is your show. This is your chance to ask questions, however silly or stupid or serious they may be. Shove them in there.
And they don't have to be about model making. They can be about anything you want.
Yeah,
you guys give us the material to work with, so we'll answer the questions you put to us. I've got a really itchy nose, and I've got nothing. I've got some. Just wipe my nose. I always get a slightly runny nose when I go on camera.
Well, Foxx, Scruffy Pup says, do you and I whatever watch the playback of the live streams? He watches them every now and again, usually a couple of days later he'll watch them again while he's at his workbench. Just have them going on in the background. During the live stream, I watch what's going on in the chat and find on occasion when watching that during the playback he's missed certain details. So it's always good to check it again. Yeah, we do ramble on and we chat quite quickly, and the chat at the side of us goes quite quickly as well. So yeah, we do miss things. I tend not to watch them back myself too much unless there's something that I think got said and I just want to recap on it again, and I just look for it. But really, I don't often have time myself. I don't know about you, Fox. I don't know if would you watch them back or.
No, I don't. I don't watch them back. Not for the live chats. I sometimes have to watch things like streams where I have to go back and edit them if they're not live. But for live chats, I tend not to. I hate looking at myself on camera, so.
Yeah.
Playground, PLA ground, playground.
Playground. Yeah, I remember him from last time.
Here's a question. What is life? Very simple. Spice is life.
Yeah.
Roadie Hobby Corner says, Ted, look on your messenger for a question. I guess it's Facebook.
Right. Hang on.
And while you're doing that, Beyond Hope says, what's the best salt for fish and chips? And Sergeant Bone says, and what's the best vinegar? Salt and vinegar. There's different types of salt. Just salt for salt.
Salt.
I think the best kind of salt and vinegar for fish and chips is gravy. I don't do salt and vinegar, but I do gravy. And by fish, you mean 2 jumbo sausages and a steak and kidney pudding and some mushy peas, then yes. Gravy.
No, I can't find a message. I can't find any question on my messenger, but send it to ted@emodels.co.uk.
I will put that in the chat.
Yeah.
There you go. Have I spelled it right? Yes. Mr. Mini Dream says he's been a car builder for over 35 years, but since suffering YouTube, Facebook, I have been wanting to build other items. Over the last 2 years, I've been doing planes, some armor, buying more than I build. That's the way it works. If you haven't got a stash going on of stuff you haven't touched yet, you're not doing it right. Everybody has a stash.
You're always halfway through a kit and you see something more shiny over there. Ooh, another one. Yeah. So you gotta go get it. Yeah.
I have that problem. I get halfway through a build and I get bored because something else comes along and I'm like, oh, I already want to build that now and I'm bored of this. Oh, I've got to finish building this. I'm terrible for that.
That's it. Yeah. Sorry, Benoit, I can't find your question. It hasn't popped up yet. Right. I did have another question in email. Scruffy Pups. Another question. Question number 2. As both of you wear spectacles, we may be able to help him. When he wears a respirator or a simple dust mask when spraying paints or varnishes, his specs constantly fog up and require demisting. Is there any way to eliminate or minimize this problem? I've had that. I don't know about you, Fox.
I shall show you. I shall show you what I do. Hang on. First of all, I don't use my normal daily glasses. I use a scrappy pair of reading glasses because they'll get damaged. So don't use your normal everyday glasses if you've got more than one pair because you'll get them covered in varnish, paint, and they'll get stretched. I found the only way to get rid of it is stick your respirator up. Hang on. I've lost a bit of string. Never mind. I won't do that bottom bit. And then put your glasses over the top. Then you can't hear me, can you? If you put them over the top, you've got the seal there already, which stops you, because all it is you're breathing up and it's fogging up your glasses. Get the mask on first and then put the glasses over the top, which is why I say if you've got a second pair of reading glasses or something like that, or an old pair of glasses that you can just about see through, use them because they will get stretched. But don't, if you've got more than one pair, don't use your best one because these get covered in gloss varnish, paint, spray. They'll get trashed.
It's particularly a problem if you're wearing those paper type disposable respirators. That's where they often leak because they leak around the nose, so all the air is forced up into your glasses and fogs your glasses up.
Yes, I would say if you're spraying paint or anything like that and using a paper type disposable mask, you'd need to not be wearing a paper type disposable mask. You need to get a respirator like that. If you're standing, then you're fine with a paper disposable mask. But if you're spraying any chemicals like paints or varnishes, you really want to get one of those. The paper disposable mask is for particulates, for powder, for dust. It's not for vapors and chemicals. You're harming yourself by wearing a paper one when you spray paint.
Yeah, if the seal's right around your face, your glasses shouldn't fog up. If you are sanding, say you're sanding resin or anything like that, and you're just wearing a particle mask and your glasses are fogging up, just try nipping usually have a little metal seal across the nose, press that in a little bit. And what you can do as well to help is use an old diver's trick, is that just take a drop of washing up liquid, put them on your glasses. You obviously take your glasses off, drop a washing up liquid, and then just wipe the raw washing up liquid into them until it's clear again, and that should stop it fogging up. Little tip.
Yeah, Northwest Modeler does say, Alan from Northwest Modeler does say wear goggles. That's another idea. If you get like workshop goggles, the clear ones, you could do that. Actually, I mean, I can't because I need to put my visor on because I can't see even with my glasses. But if you can put goggles over, and that'll make it even more of a seal. Beyond Hope says, I recognise that guy from Crime Watch.
Have you seen this man? Good night. Don't have nightmares.
Playground says, I've done that technique. I've also forgotten my glasses were on top and flung them across the room when I ripped off my mask like some kind of spray painting male stripper. Yeah, I've done that. I've done that. It does get annoying. I mean, the thing about respirators is they save your life. The annoying thing is that mine's got a little valve in it, so when you breathe in and out, it knows what you're doing. But when I'm breathing, it goes, I can hear it and I can feel it, and it does my head in, even though it's just something irrelevant. It's like, it does my head in. But that's why I use old glasses. It's an old reading glass because I don't want to damage my actual glasses. They will get covered in crud. So
yeah, somebody said the other day on one of the Facebook pages that he's just bought himself a respirator and a spray booth, and he didn't realise how much it would be to save your life. Yeah, but
yes,
you only get one. Yeah, you got to get one go at this. So yeah, look after it. Stefan Last says, do we ever listen to music, or does anybody? Do you guys out there ever listen to music or something while building, unless we're filming? And if you do you have any favourites, or maybe audio books or podcasts? What happens when you're building? Do you watch the telly? Do you listen to radio? Do you listen to some music?
Go on, Ted. Tell us what you do.
I tend to listen to BBC iPlayer, sounds of the 60s, and all sorts of the retro type music to relive my youth and make me feel young again.
We know you're into German deathcore, hardcore, deathcore, rock, death, metal, death.
I saved that. I saved that for a Saturday evening over a pint.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I do.
I personally, I can't work in silence. I have to have something on. It's generally going to be either music or podcasts. I've answered this before, but if I'm going to be doing something for a long time, I've got like 8 trillion. I've got every single Giant Bombcast podcast downloaded, so I just listen to those. I love the Giant Bombcast. If I'm listening to music at the moment, my big thing is soundtracks, and I'm absolutely falling in love with. None of you will know who this is, but you'll have heard his music. There's a guy called Paul Mottram, and he writes library music. He writes music for TV and film production, but he just writes it and then people license it and use it. If you've ever watched a science documentary on the BBC, or pretty much any documentary on the BBC, especially Horizon and Sky at Night, you will have heard Paul Mottram's music. I've, let's say, acquired a large amount of his compositions, and I love them, so I have them playing in the background. Anything that's got a full orchestra and it's like movie music, I've got the Destiny soundtrack, anything like that, I love it. It's just anything that's what's the word I'm thinking? I can't think of the German word, but anything that's got a nice hook and a structure to it, I love it. So I have that playing in the background. I can't have TV and stuff on in the background because that would distract me and I'd just mess things up.
Right. Just a quick question. When we're talking about being online and things like that, Meg Johnson's just sent me an email. She said, hello, Ted and Fox. Love watching you guys. I often watch on a Kindle, but can't seem to get on the chat. I don't know if you can get on the chat. If you no.
Excuse me. In some situations, you won't have access to chat. I know my mum watches on iPad, and I don't think can get the chat. She can get chat in Twitch, but she can't get chat in YouTube, even if she goes through the link. So it depends where you're watching it. Some places where you watch, like through the YouTube app, it might have chat, or through the website, it might not have chat. So it's not always available. It depends on what you're watching YouTube through.
I know it's often difficult to see a chat log on your iPhone, so it's probably thinking works the same sort of thing like that. She said she also loves Fox's t-shirt, but can't see the bottom of it. Who does he support to arm?
It says, I support the right to arm bears. Can you see it all on camera there? Is it on? I don't know.
Yeah, we can see it now.
My brother lives in Memphis, Tennessee, and he sent me that. It's a bear holding an assault rifle, I think. It's actually a scoped sniper rifle. It's like, I support the right to arm bears, because that's
good. Yeah, right. Yeah,
Not really.
Arm them bearers, let them shoot back.
Oh yeah. Playground. Oh, go on. Sorry, Ted. Go on.
Yeah. Finally, Meg says the Scooby-Doo van is coming on slowly but enjoying it. Oh, we talked about that, didn't we? We said somebody had won a Scooby-Doo van. There we go. That's the person.
There you go. I can't do Scooby-Doo laugh fast. Playground says, haha, model making guru, I find myself holding my breath to avoid the pit pop of the little valves. Yeah. Some people did ask, by the way, about the actual respirator I use. I think you've got one similar. There are a million respirators out there, but the one I use particularly is a 3M. If you go to like a lot of places that sell like body shop stuff and auto repair stuff will have this standard 3M mask, and you can buy you get the filters separately. So the 3M mask that's the one I've used for a long time. They're really good. There are other ones out there, but 3M makes some of the best stuff. The filters is the all-important bit. You need to make sure they are certified for vapors and particulates. Most importantly, vapors. If you read through descriptions on the places that sell these things, you want them to say basically they will protect you from paint fumes and vapors. They're no good if they protect you from dust. It's not dust that's your problem. It's vapors and particulate and aerosolized paint. So you can get, I can't remember, I think this is a 7000 series, but I'm not sure. But the important bit is the filters. So make sure whatever filters you get, there are various places you can get them. Make sure they're certified for vapors and paint fumes. That's what you want.
Just to pick up again for Meg, Paul Stewart says to get on the chat on tablets, you need to go to the desktop version and not the app.
Yes,
so that might be a way around it. If you can get onto the desktop version, Meg, you might find you get into chat that way.
Yeah, if you're on the desktop version, you're basically on the website like we would see it on desktop. So if you're on an app, it probably isn't built into it.
Right. So I'll go back. We sort of got stray there. There's lots of people telling us what they listen to or watch while they're on building. YouTube says Manning Tree Modeler. YouTube. Now I find that a great distraction because I'll get my modeling stuff out on the bench and things like that. I'll set up YouTube and I'll look for something. I thought, right, I'll watch that or I'll listen to this, and then what's that? Oh yeah, so I'll watch that, and then that will finish and something else will start, so I'll watch that, and then a thing in my mind will think, oh, why don't I go watch that one? And then I'm looking at my watch and thinking, I've been here for 4 hours and I've got nothing done.
Yeah, so, I went through a phase of when I was building something, I was watching House, like all 10 seasons of it or whatever. But luckily at the time I was just denubbing. I was denubbing my big 160 scale Freedom Gundam, so it took a while. No, my Perfect Grade Zaku. So I kind of got through about 3 seasons of House. Because I love House, so I just got through about 3 seasons of that, just denubbing.
Yeah. So, lots of things you can do. Just don't get distracted, otherwise you'll find yourself sitting on the bench and getting nothing done at all.
Yeah, a few people say audiobooks. Audiobooks are good.
Audiobooks are quite, yeah. I've never really listened to any of them. I must give them a try sometime. Yeah. Right, let's have a look. 1 or 2 more questions have come in. I think. Farnarkle.
Wait, what?
Many years ago, I was introduced to modelling by monogram kits, i.e. the TBF, Dauntless, etc. Are they still about? Is monogram still about?
It was Revell monogram, wasn't it? I think they're part of Revell. I don't know if they're still going. Might still be a brand that gets thrown out there. Revell monogram used to do lots of cars and planes back in the old days when me and Ted were young. You know, when everything was in black and white and there were dinosaurs.
I must go across to eModels and search if it's not there.
The whole history of the American model making, model production thing gets quite confusing because you get companies like AMT and Ertl that were folded into each other and then became part of Monogram, got involved in there somewhere, and then like Revell took over a lot of it, so it's kind of confusing. But yes, I think they're still around. I don't think you see much from them.
Yeah. Kenneth M. No, monogram. No, I haven't seen a lot for a long time. Kenneth M. says, question, what's the best snow product we've used? And have we tried the white static grass? I'm
just looking up now, actually, something I've not used, but I've read about, and I'm just seeing if I can find it.
I can't think of them. There's a website that uses snow. I can't think of the name of it.
Give me a second. I'll see if I can find out who it is.
eModels do sell some. Who's that glue manufacturer that you've got? That 2-part epoxy that you've got.
Oh, hang on. I'll have to get up now. Hang on. What are they called?
Deluxe materials or something like that. Yes. eModels sell some deluxe materials. That's quite good for all sorts of different scales as well. Does snow come in a scale?
Yeah, there was a product that I keep meaning to try, but I can't find it in my desktop favorites in my links. And it's basically, if I remember rightly, it's an aerosol product, but it looks incredible.
Yeah, Carl's got it there. Precision Ice and Snow.
That's it. Precision. Thank you, Carl. Yeah, I think if I remember rightly, it's an aerosol product. It looks incredible. So go and look at Precision Ice and Snow. I've yet to try them because I've yet to build a snowy diorama, and you can vary it from like light dustings of snow to proper snow drifts. And
yeah, it looks amazing stuff. But in the meantime, if you want to have a look at the deluxe material stuff that eModels have a look at that one.
Thank you to Carl, because that was exactly what I was talking about. Precision Ice and Snow. I just couldn't find the link in my browser. I'm an old man. My memory's not there. You see.
Yeah, I'm older than you. Think what I'm like. I can't remember what day it is.
Who am I? Who are you? What am I doing?
I only know it's Monday because I got the alarm set on the watch to come in the workshop.
I know it's Monday because Mum says, "Don't forget you're doing your podcast." Oh yeah, I forgot about
that. Speaking of which, we have to do what we're going to do now. Should we go and have a look at what's in store?
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, we're on the hour. We're just about on the hour. Sure, we're going to have a look at
what's like a radio DJ. And it's on the hour. It's time for traffic news.
We'll just nip over to the traffic news desk and find out what it's like out there. And then we'll go across to the weather before we have the news. Gareth Redford has before we go. What's the weirdest thing to use in modelling? What do you mean? Weirdest thing. It depends how weird is. You can always find something to adapt.
I've used a net curtain.
Yeah.
I've used an old net curtain to make like wire mesh, kind of like crisscross mesh stuff when I was building a Mad Max Renault Citroen Diane when I was younger. It makes great, like the stuff you get in photo etch nowadays, just like a mesh stuff, like over a window, just a bit of old net curtain. It's great. And I also used an old 1980s Halifax card holder, little plastic wallet that I could put my bank card in, because I had a Halifax account when I was like 15 or whatever. I used that, and it was like ribbed and plastic, so I cut that, and that became like some corrugated metal over one of the side windows of the same car. That's the weirdest thing I've ever used.
Yeah, once you start scratch building, you will find a use for everything. You will have a box full, a big box, a big box full of useless stuff that you think that'll come in handy.
Here's a handy little factoid for you. And most people know this, but the actual filming model of the Y-wing from the original Star Wars, the round bit on the two engines on each side, the front of that nacelle was actually part of a plastic egg that held a pair of tights. They were called legs, L''EGGS, and you had a little plastic egg. You opened it, and in which was a pair of tights. And they took the round bit from the bottom, and that became the round sort of nacelle front on the front two engines of the Y-wing kit. There you go, on the model.
I never know. Everything has a use. Recycle, reuse, reuse, recycle, and forget it. Never mind. Lots of other ideas.
Actually, one I can identify. Fred the Foot's model says he used the pot noodle lids for harnesses. I like that.
That's good.
Like straps and harnesses. That's a great. I've used a post-it note as a tarpaulin.
Pot noodle lids, because that's the right thickness. Like people talk about using wine bottle tops for harnesses and things like that, but most of the wine I drink these days comes in screw tops.
I won't get them out. I don't know where they are, but I've got some like wine bottle stoppers to actually mount little tabletop miniatures on, so I can paint them. They're just a cork with a plastic bit on the top, and I'm like.
Phil Lewis said he used a hair from his wife to rig a U-boat.
Ron might use some dry spaghetti for piping. I like this.
Yeah, it's good.
It's kind of like you can. it's pretty much anything you can find in your house you can use for something.
Yeah,
Especially if you do like Ted says, kit bashing, or you putting greebles and things onto a model, little detail parts. I've used, when I did my land speeder, I gave the guy like a big trunk full of bits of metal and junk. Half of that stuff is like Lego, just random bits of Lego.
I spotted some pens in a stationer's the other day, and the top of the pen, that bit there, was orange, and it was the perfect size and shape for an orange beacon to go on top of a car or a tank or anything like that. It was the right colour, transparent, brilliant. Oh, I'll have a couple of them.
Yeah. Playground says legs, eggs were a staple element of 1980s American childhoods. Many a G.I. Joe has been hurled into the air in a leg's egg. Not something we had in the UK.
Tony Black used an onion bag. Yeah, lots of that. Cat litter. That's always a good favourite for grit and roads.
Yeah. So Lewis says the foil lids on Twiglets and Cheeselets containers is really good heavy aluminium foil. And Playground says cut off the legs from LEDs and resistors and make outstanding antennas. Or Ted's favourite is to use the bristle from a yard brush.
Yeah, brilliant. Yeah, all sorts of sizes. They actually can be different thicknesses. If you have a look around your plastic yard brushes, they're actually different thicknesses. So you can get really thin ones out of the sort of hand brushes. And if you got the yard brush, you get really thick ones for sort of all sorts of struts and things like that.
I did the little whip antenna on my Warhammer land speeder. We just stretched through, and when I glued it all in and got around, I was like, oh, I remembered. I was like, I could have just gone and got hair from the yard brush and glued it in.
Yeah. So yeah, there's lots of stuff.
Carl from Make a Model says mixed herbs for forest ground. Yeah, leaf litter and stuff like that.
For you Americans, it's herbs.
Herbs, because you don't pronounce it correctly, but we do, because there's an H on it. They've all switched off now. Right, who else can I insult? Who's next?
Before we insult anybody else, let's go across and have a look what's in store today. Let's see what we got. I know that last week, that's just the new arrivals. I know that last week we looked at tiny stuff, didn't we?
We looked on you, by the way, Ted.
We are looked on me. I hope we looked on me.
Yes, last week was tiny things, I think.
Yeah.
To celebrate Captain Tiny himself and coming on board.
Yeah, welcome, Ant. Yeah, if you didn't know, Ant's our new builder, but never mind. Yeah, we keep mentioning him, don't we? We'll get him involved in the chat one night. So we thought we'd have a look at some big stuff, and you don't get any bigger than this. We always talk about Dora.
We always joke about this thing.
Yeah,
and none of us want to actually build it.
Yeah, but we are trying to convince Ant that his inaugural kit has to be Dora, the 135 scale Dora.
But not all of you know what this kit is. Not all of you are familiar with it. We make these jokes about it every week, saying, "Oh yeah, that Dora." Yeah.
Yeah, the Dora. Obviously, if you didn't know, it's a model of the German railway gun. I think it was one of the largest guns that they've made.
I think it's one of the largest cannon ever made. But we thought it was about time that if you don't know what this is, it's about time I actually showed you what the Dora actually is. Because this is kind of an eModels legend now. So it's about time we let you in on it.
Yeah, and if you want one of these, you've got to remember, because we show these things and they sort of go off the shelves. If you want one of these, there's only one in stock.
Ted, you're not screen sharing, by the way.
Am I not screen sharing?
No.
Oh, I'm not. Hang on, I'll come back.
I thought we were just doing like a really big build up to you revealing the screen, but I just realised you think we're already screen sharing.
I'm not doing very well tonight, am I?
Oh,
I'm pressing the wrong buttons.
No, don't press that wrong button.
Right, there. Can you see it now? Dora.
There we go.
There it is.
It is apparently the biggest model kit in the world.
Yeah,
it's the largest kit of any plastic injection kit of any kind you can ever get.
That's over 3,000 parts, and the completed model is 58 foot long. Sorry, 58 inches long.
Yeah, that's 58 foot long model. Blimey, that'd be bigger than your Nubo.
Yes. Yeah, it's nearly as big as a real thing because it's 58 feet long.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's it. Let's have a look at some of the pictures. I think there's some work.
I mean, this is in of itself a kind of legendary kit because it is so massive. It's so complex with so many parts. It's got I don't know if it's got photo. I'm assuming it's got photo etch in there as well. 3,000 parts. Yeah. It's insane. And when you go to eModels and you stand at the front counter, the trade counter in the eModels warehouse, you can see it on the shelf. It takes up the whole shelf. There's just massive box.
I think, in fact, isn't it the counter? they put everything on top of it.
I think it was like the lunch table for a while. I used to eat the lunch off it.
Used to sit around it.
Sit around playing dominoes.
Yeah.
It is absolutely massive, and it's one of those builds that if you start building it, it's going to be a long-term project. But it's like the equivalent of building like a sailing ship, but for the. I mean, look at that compared to John.
Yeah. Now we know John is.
John's like 7'8", so
yeah, and that's big, and yeah, so there's the size of that box.
Yes. Now there is a restriction on this one because of the size of it. It can only be shipped in mainland UK, so we can't ship it overseas. And there is only one in stock. So if you're tempted, because this is a kind of legendary, I don't think they made that many of them, but. Yeah. If you're getting the little tweak here and you're thinking I could do that, then you need to act fast because there's only one, and there probably won't be another one in stock, I would suggest. So if you're getting that itch, act on it. We make a joke about it all the time, but it's about we never actually show it. So yes, this is the world's biggest plastic model kit. Yeah,
you could say when people say what you're building, I'm building the world's biggest kit.
Yes, basically you can say I'm building all the things.
Yes.
So like me and Ted always joke about building massive kits, but there's nothing compared to that. I mean, 3,000 parts, that's like a UCS Lego kit, but with fiddliness and glue.
And glue, lots of glue and paint.
Yes, and bear in mind it's 1/35 scale, so you could also adorn it with a whole mess of. I don't know if it comes with figures, but if it doesn't,
it had in the pictures there. It had a group of figures up on the gantry there, loading it around. I'm assuming.
Can we see them? Yep, and bear in mind that's 1/35 scale, so you know how big 1/35 scale figures are. They look like little tiny 1/72 scale dudes, but they're not. They're 1/35.
It's an impressive model. I wait to see a built one in the flesh or in the plastic as such. I'm sure we'll come across one sometime.
Yeah, Vincent says it has an optional aluminium barrel and an add-on photo etch set. Right. Zad says they could use the interior as a modeling studio.
Yeah, and when it arrives at your house, the box is that big that when the wife sees you, you can live in the box.
Yes, or use it as a spray booth, as Tony Black says.
Yeah, walk-in spray booth. But that's the Dora. So, and we did think of you guys that probably haven't got the room to fit a Dora in, so you can go to the 1/1/4 scale Dora in the railgun. It's just as nice.
Yes.
There's no pictures of this one, unfortunately. Yeah. So if you haven't got the room, what you could do, you can get this one and impress your wife and your family and things like that and say, well, I could step it up here and we could build the big one. We could build the big one. We could all build the big one. And then we could have two of them. Yeah. So, that could be a start. Yeah. So
But the big one is it's a premium kit. It's a kind of legendary premium kit. So, it's 400. What was it?
499, I think.
499. Yeah. So, yes, it's an expensive kit, but it's it's worth every penny of it.
What I always say about the big kits is that when you break the length of time down that you would build a kit, and you break it down into how many kits you would have built in that time, it works out sort of equal to the number of kits you would have built. Are you with me? You get what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah. So the number of kits you would have built, added them all up, it's about the same price as you would have for a Dora. So there we go. There's the small Dora, and we've seen the big Dora.
So it will be very interesting to find out tomorrow if suddenly it's gone out of stock, because that'd be brilliant.
Yeah. If you have the urge to buy it, let us know.
Let us know by buying it.
Yeah. Right. What's next? This is quite we picked this one out. Something really different. It's the Dragon 1/9 version, Guardians of the Galaxy Rocket Raccoon.
Yeah, I love Rocket Raccoon. I'm not a big Marvel nonsense fan. I don't do that, but I do like Guardians of the Galaxy, and I love Rocket Raccoon.
Yeah. This is a little bit of a different kit because it's a snap together, pre-painted. But that doesn't mean that you can't go out and still sort of do some painting and things on it yourself. And
like I did with the Master Chief. There's nothing stopping you repainting it completely. It's got some really nice sculpting for the fur and the features and everything else. So just built as it is, it looks pretty good. But imagine what you could do with it. Plus, I think you also get a Groot with it, a baby Groot, I think.
Yeah, I'm trying to get the pictures up. Come on, let's work.
Yeah, you definitely get a baby Groot. Baby Groot! So awesome!
Yeah, so yeah, that's the dragon kit. Yeah, so heroes. So if I think isn't sorry, I'm not a follower of the heroes and the Marvel comics.
You're going to embarrass yourself. I don't want you, Ted.
Yeah, I'm just.
You want to just bail now before you?
Yeah, isn't it doing the rounds on the cinema now or something? Isn't there?
Guardians of the Galaxy 2 was out a month or two ago. Have we got a shot of the actual figure?
I'm trying to find one. I think that looks like it.
Got a closer at one. Dragon do some very good quality stuff. So if you're familiar with Dragon, you know the kind of quality you're going to get. It's basically it's kind of slightly disassembled, so you just snap it all together. But it's one of those things that you could really go to town repainting. The same way I repainted my Master Chief. When you see the action figure of my Master Chief, it looks a bit naff. It's just a big 3 foot tall plastic naff thing. Yeah, but I painted it up and it was great fun. This actually looks good unpainted, but you could paint it up and it looked rad.
The description goes on to it. It's a hybrid between a display figure and a kit. And Dragon brings you the best of both worlds.
At the end of the day, how can you not like Rocket Raccoon? I mean, dude, he smokes a cigar and he likes explosions.
Highly collectible display model developed in 3D using official data from Marvel. So it's probably properly licensed. Yeah, I'm sure.
I like when they mention it's 3D. Like you tend to normally buy 2-dimensional models. Now we've done it in 3 dimensions.
Minimum assembly. I like that. Plug and display. Yeah, that's a new one.
Zadster says this is the time of year I like to work on Aurora monster kits. So yeah, that's the thing. I mean, Aurora are well known for doing their Frankensteins and like Creature from the Black Lagoon and things like that. This isn't really that much different, although it's a very specific subject. If you like doing things like the big figure kits, you could have fun with this because it's an awesome character, but you could just repaint it. Because we all know, like, pre-painting things don't tend to look as good as you could paint them. So there's no harm with repainting it. But at the end of the day, all I need to say is it's got Baby Groot in it. You need to buy it. Baby Groot for the win. Done. I am Groot. Done. I'll have 3 of these. If I was any good at fur, I'd say to Pete, mate, when I finish this eagle, I'll do that. But I'm no good at fur, so.
No, I don't want to try.
And I wouldn't want to give it back.
I'm just trying to master figure painting, but fur, no.
Well, actually, fur's not too bad. You can do a lot of dry brushing, but it's still a skill. But the thing that put me off is I'd have to give it back to eModels when I finished it, and I don't want to do that.
Yeah, I think we need to speak to Captain Spillage about doing fur. He's the expert in that. All right, let's go to the next one.
Kenneth M says, is it pre-painted? Yes, it is, but you can totally paint over it. I tend to ignore pre-painted models.
Yeah.
Some of them are good. Some of them are absolute gash. Like the D'Agostini Millennium Falcon, the paint job isn't worth anything. But that's why you get them, to repaint them.
Yeah. Anyway, the next one is the Tacon 135 VWT3, the transporter bus with a figure. We sometimes like to throw a car in and things like this, but this one's a little bit different from a car. It is a military-looking vehicle, but you don't have to do it that way, I'm sure. There's lots of options available for this. You can obviously convert it, put the blank the windows out and things like that, and make it into
go all Mad Max on it. Go back to the 1980s and open a Halifax bank account and get the little plastic card holder. Brilliant.
Yeah, Mad Max it, or you can make it into your favourite camper van, or you can make it into your favourite hippie bus.
I do have a soft spot for the T3 transporter van.
Yeah. Are these the ones that had the engine in the back, like the original?
I can't remember actually.
Did they have the engine under the load floor at the back?
I think they did. I'm not that far. I just like them. I don't know the technical ins and outs.
Yeah, because they were often a favourite to convert, weren't they, into camper vans and things like that.
Yes.
Put a surfboard on the top, and away you go.
Well, that's the kind of 80s version of the classic 70s camper van, VW camper van.
Yeah. So these were good. Yeah,
but we've done shiny sports cars for the last couple of weeks. I thought nice to do a shiny car that's not a car and not shiny. That sounds really weird to explain.
There's still that crossover between a military and something. It's a little bit different with a figure. Whether you want to use a figure or maybe it just goes in your space box. You make the camper van into something else, but it's up to you. Have a bit of fun with it. As I say, you follow the instructions to put it together, but you don't have to follow the instructions to paint it.
If you're building like a modern day Iraq or Afghanistan type Middle East type diorama with your military vehicles and your civilian vehicles, this would be quite a good addition.
Yeah. Or make it a rebel type thing, cut the back off, put an anti-aircraft gun in the back of it.
Yep.
What else have we got? Right, for you, metallic coloured. painters. They are
you crazy fools.
Yeah, you tan modeling 148 RF Thunderflash. Yeah, paint it silver. But ideal. Oh, there's a couple of pictures here. Let's have a look at these. Don't know what the decals are. They look fairly.
I don't recognise any of those markings at all.
No, I was just going to.
I'm not an aircraft guy, but
yeah, is that Turkish? Is that one there?
Could be.
Next one. No, still don't recognise any of them.
No.
Yeah. So whichever air forces use the Thunderflash. Yeah.
It's a really nice look. If you're looking to practice or if you like doing your metallic finish kits, I quite like this because now I've used that C1 metallizer. It's really nice and dead easy. That'd be sweet for this. But I particularly like the way you've got the metallic exposed metal frame and then you have the black anti-glare strip. I love that on vehicles. I don't know why it just does something for me, like bare metal with the black anti-glare strip. Yeah,
if you can make that really flat, if you make it look really flat, not black, but sort of a greyish black, tyre wall black, would be ideal for that. Wouldn't it? Just flatten it right down. Really bring, the silver would really bring out that.
Yeah, TK says, "Hey, I just started building that Thunderflash version 1. Tony Black says these tan model kits look really good, and Vincent from Mr. Less Model Maker says the bottom is Belgian Air Force.
Ah, right. Thank you. A bit of aircraft recognition tonight. Belgian Air Force.
He says yes, it's the Belgian, us, and Turkish Air Force decal options. It seems.
So lots of options there in the kit. 148 scale. What price was? Yeah, there's a sprues for it. Look nice and clean. Yeah, obviously when you get the box, you can examine them yourself. Republic Thunderflash. There's a front sheet, the instructions.
I like the name Thunderflash. It's like a really low budget superhero.
Yeah.
Thunderflash.
It's a sort of thing in those old 60s movies, isn't it? Right, is there any more? No, that's it. Close up. $44.99. Yeah, nice one. Right, what's the last one? We do have another one. I forgot that one. Oh yes, this is the new release 1/16 Abrams battle tank from Tamiya, isn't it?
Yes, talking of legendary kits. Oh, by the way, did we forget to mention these are all in the special offers page?
Yeah, that's what picked them up tonight. Yeah, apart from the Doras.
Yes, apart from the Dora.
Yeah,
these are all from the offers page, which we'll talk about in a minute.
Yeah. This I don't know if this is in the offers page.
It is, yep, because it was $499.99. It's now $449.99.
Ah, well, there you go, guys. See, it changes each week. The offers page. Keep having a look. Keep coming in, having a look.
Yes.
But this is the new release from Tamiya. It has a metallic hull. The hull is metal. I think it says down here. This is a 1/16 scale plastic model assembly kit, recreating the US main battle tank. It says, what is it? The model utilizes a durable aluminium alloy lower hull. Now, I think when this was out, I think it's designed for RC, but this is a static model.
Yeah, it looks like to me, because they've only just released this. It was kind of revealed at the Shizuoka Hobby Show a few months ago. Was it about April, I think?
Yeah.
It's massive because it's a modern day 1/16 tank. So it's, you know how big modern day tanks are. And when you look at it, you look at the lower hull and you think, yeah, this is like a typical Tamiya remote control tank kit, but just without all the bits for remote control. So there are some thoughts that at some point they're going to release it as a remote control version, which will probably have some compromises to fit the RC equipment in, or you could just fit it all yourself. But it is kind of built and apparently designed in such a way that theoretically you could RC it up. But it just looks, it is huge. It's a massive thing.
I know there's been one or two discussions in various forums and things about that, about the accuracy of it. But yeah, it depends how accurate you want to be. Some people say the cupolas are different size or the wrong size, but anything like this, I think it will bring out the rivet counters.
Yeah, and the thing to bear in mind is even with modern day armor, there are so many different variations that you know a model manufacturer can't have every single different variation of a kit in, because you double the price of all the different parts.
It's like when a ship is built, you will have a builder's plan that you can build a model to, or you can build the actual thing, and the actual thing will differ vastly from the builder's plan. Because even when you're in the shipyard and you stood there with a piece of paper, you think, no, you stood there with a plan and you think, no, that's not going to go on there, so I'll turn it round and fit it this way. That's how it works.
Yeah.
So yeah, the builder's plans vastly different, often differ from the real thing.
But at the end of the day, I mean, you know, Ted, you know yourself from building the 1/16 scale Panzer IV. If any of you watched Ted's Panzer IV build, how big that Panzer IV was, I've seen it in real life, and it's, you know, what was it, 2 foot long, 1.5 foot long?
It's about, it had a footprint about the size of an A4 piece of paper.
Yeah, so this is an Abrams, which is a modern tank, which is what, twice as long as a Panzer IV, maybe. I would guess. I don't know, but it's not small.
Yeah, it's
not a small kit.
It's going to be big,
and it's Tamiya, and you know Tamiya do really, really good tanks.
Yeah. So take it with its faults. If it has faults, I don't know. I'm not that much of an expert on them. If it has any faults, yeah, just accept them. It's good. It's going to be a great kit to build.
Yeah, I mean, if it's a Tamiya kit, if there's anything there, it's going to be maybe detailing accuracies. That's it. You're not going to have build issues because it's a Tamiya kit.
Yeah. So if you want to go and have a look at it, the hashtag number is 36212. On the eModels website, go and have a look, because if you want one, add them to your basket, because as we've found from the live streams we do, if we mention something, they don't last long. They sort of go out. Right, that's I think that's it for what's in store. The articulation on the tracks there.
Those, by the way, just so they know, those are like AA batteries underneath the track, so it gives you an idea of the scale.
Yeah. Superb. Right, stop sharing. I just got to check that and press the right button. Right, stop sharing.
Yeah, press the right button, Ted, not the wrong button.
Not the wrong button.
For the love of God, don't press the wrong
button.
button.
Come back because I'm back again. To focus and come back again. There we go. Get the chat.
Vincent says, Foxx, Tamiya gets so much aftermarket support, the rivet counters will find their fix. Yes, that's the main thing with any kit. Most kits have some kind of something that's not quite correct. There's always a third-party fix. With something that big, that expensive, there's going to be a lot of third-party aftermarket kits for stuff to add to it. So, but can you imagine like building your own sort of, say, netting or little parts to add on to, just like, you know, some kits come with like boxes of like bottled water and things like that. Can you imagine building a diorama for, I'm guessing it's about this big, building your own netting and stuff to go in the netting? It's going to be great. Yeah, a great load of fun.
There's loads of stuff to do out there. Yeah. So, right.
Gross Models, Chris says, Ted, did you get my email question?
I'll have a look for it now.
And Vincent says, full slat armor. That sounds like something from a Gundam.
No, Benoit, no, I didn't. I did answer you. I said it hadn't turned up. I don't know.
No, it's a question from Chris.
Chris, hang on. Oh, yes, I did. Sorry, Chris. Yes, Chris Williams said, he said he's building a huge bike kit. I wonder where he got that from.
Oh, I can't imagine where. I didn't know what made him suddenly get that enormous one.
Yeah, he's building a bike kit in a 1/6 scale. He's planning on a showroom finish, nice and shiny, all that sort of stuff.
He could fit Rocket Raccoon on it.
Yeah,
that's 1/6 scale.
Yeah. It's locked on me. It's locked on me. Right, that's it. Hopefully. Speak Foxx. Is it locked on you?
Blah, 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 blah. Testing.
Right, yada. Yeah, we're back to normal. Anyway, Chris said he's planning on a showroom finish, so all the panels and frame will be shiny gloss coat. I'm not sure about the engine. Should it be gloss or matte? Now, I'd say satin, because your engines.
I don't know, because if you look at a real motorbike, they're a mixture of like, some of the metals are, I mean, the chrome is obviously very shiny. The actual silvery metals tend to be like aluminium and stuff, so they're not particularly shiny. And then you get like the black plastic parts, which can vary from, say, satin to matte.
Yeah,
I don't really know though. I mean, it's more a case of, I know you get some reference pictures with the kit. Might just worth glomming over those. And
if I were you, I'd have a walk down to the Yamaha showroom. I'd have a walk in and have a look.
I don't know if they'd have an Africa Twin, because that's what he's building.
No, they might not have an Africa Twin, but they'll have a black. They'll have an engine finished in black.
Yeah.
I would really say it would be a satin, sort of that a shiny. Can you have a shiny satin? You know what I mean? It's not. Yeah. They're not
glossy.
Oily. They're not oily or anything like that. Simon
Vincent says, I've seen these bikes in real life. They are gloss, except the black detail on the copper anodized bits Those are satin. Anything else looks gloss. Anything alloy looks gloss.
Yeah. Simon O'Callaghan said on Honda engines are flag and satin. Flag and satin. The castings are magnesium, so satinish. Yes. Yeah. They're like an anodized, aren't they? Right. Well, let's have a go. Hopefully, yeah. Go and have a look in the showroom. Yeah, just pretend you're interested in bikes and.
Yeah, don't take your card because you'll come out with a motorbike and you'll be like, "Why have I got my?"
I went in to have a look and I came out with this. Sorry, love. Yeah.
I may have spent the holiday money. Sorry.
Yeah, I sold the car, but I bought a motorbike. Yeah. Right. What else are we going to do? Right. What else should we do?
Let's talk about the weather. No, let's not talk about the weather. Oh, hello. What's that?
Hello? Oh. Really? Oh. I'll let them know. Okay. So it's gone. It's all gone quiet in here. Okay. Wrong number.
Again, man.
Yeah. Never mind. Yeah, where were we? Should we do a giveaway?
Yeah, let's do a giveaway.
Yeah, let's do a giveaway. Let's do the mug.
You're a mug. I'm a mug. We're all mugs. We all scream for
think of a question. We never think of a question before we come on.
No, we don't.
We don't.
I thought of one this time either. We always look around to try and find something to ask a question about. And we never think of it.
Well, right. Right. Here's a question. I'm ready to go. Are you ready for this?
Right. Remember, folks, this is. Are we doing this as a fastest answer?
The fastest finger.
So remember, we see the comments differently to you guys, so we'll go for the one we see first on our screens, which looks different to the one you see for your screen. So we'll pick the one that answers correctly first on our end.
Right.
And when we say go, that's when you answer. We won't take anything before that.
Right. According to the description on the Tamiya 1/16 Abrahams, when was the M1 Abrahams formally adopted? What year was it formally adopted?
Okay, you're watching the chat, Ted, because I haven't got a clue.
Yeah.
Go.
Yeah, everybody's going back to have a look at them.
Yeah, there's a pause while I was like Googling it. Oh no, quick, get back on the page.
Yeah, according to the description, what year was it adopted?
Okay, I don't know what it is, but we've got 1997, 1992.
There we are. Mr. Lorth said 1980. Yeah. 1980.
1980. Vincent at Mr. Lost Model Making. Yay!
Model Making. Well done for that one. That guy. Yep. We'll get you. They'll get the details of a mug sent out to you.
Ron Mack says that call was the debt collectors being after me. Yeah, you see my Gunpla stash. You know the address anyway, Vincent, but I'll put it in there.
Yeah, that's it.
It's in the chat. No, your name doesn't start with Y, does it, Ted?
Can't be awesome. Right.
Excuse me.
Yeah, that is actually the direct hotline to eModels. Yeah. So we have a bit of problems now and again with internets and things like that. So had a direct line. Look, it's even silver.
Yeah.
The hotline.
It's even silver because we haven't painted it red yet. He's a shark mouth though, Ted.
Yeah, I've got you a red phone. Here's a phone. Here's a can of paint. Off you go.
There you go. That's how it works in the army.
Right, I've lost my picture. Oh, there I am. Right. Yeah. What else are we going to do? Where are we up to now? What time?
Don't we got any more questions?
Have we got any more questions? We should have some more questions. We usually rely on you guys.
Ron Mack says that Humbrol 85 is a nice black Satan to use for a bike engine. I think he means satin, but
satin?
It's funny either way.
Blacks.
Humbrol 85.
Is that what you get if you want to look at the colour backwards? Satan?
Yeah, you paint it on a record and play it backwards. Apparently Paul is dead, but there you go. What'd you do?
Yeah, well, there we go. Yeah. Right. So, right. Yeah, a dialect phone. Everybody remember them phones? Huh? I asked for a nice iPhone. You know, I asked for the iPhone 10. Got that.
Thanks, Pete, mate.
Yeah, thanks, Pete, mate. Yeah.
Oh, I know what we have to do. We've got last week's winner.
Oh, we have, yeah. We got.
Right.
Yeah. I haven't found a picture to say what we were giving away. What were we giving away?
We were giving away. What were we giving away?
It was the Shackleton, wasn't it?
Was it?
Yeah, I'm sure it was.
I suck at this. Try doing some quick checking.
I'll just do some quick checking. It tells me I can't find it because I haven't spelt it right. There it is. Found it. Yeah, because the intelligent search engine does it. Right, come back to me. I won't press that one because that's stopping the broadcast. I'll share the screen.
Yeah, don't press that button, Ted.
Don't press that one. And that's what we're giving away. That's what the prize was for last week. What was
the new tooling?
Yeah, new tooling from Airfix. This was released at Telford last year. What's that? What's that one, wasn't it? Yeah, that one. So right, who? What was the question? What was the phrase that we had for last week?
The phrase they had to put was "Give me the thing."
Give me the thing.
Yep.
Give me the thing, and we have drawn it. We drew it before we started the program today. We drew it on one of these internet.
Yeah, we used a random YouTube comment picker, which takes all the comments from the YouTube page, picks one at random when we press a magic button.
Yeah, and the winner is comment number 45. You can go down and count them if you want. Comment number 45 was Christopher Taylor. Well done, Christopher Taylor. I'm out of focus again.
Well done, Christopher.
Well done, Christopher. Okay. If you are watching this now you can send me an email to ted@emodels.co.uk. Yep. Or you can contact the guys direct at eModels. We'll forward your details along to them to say that Christopher Taylor has won it. We will check up it's the same person, so we know the prize is going to the right person. And well done.
And
up to now we're getting near the show, but
it
was a wrong number.
Ah, well, never mind. Take it we've had no other word from above at this time, then. So
we're waiting. We're going to wait for the phone to ring.
Yeah, it's not over till it's over. We've got a question from Ron Mac. Question, Foxx, has your mum ever made a kit, and would she come on and build one for us? No, she hasn't, and she has no interest in making models at all. She's. I tried to get her to do some Lego ones, but she wasn't interested. She likes buying them. She likes buying the finished article, but she doesn't. She's bought a few of my builds. Apparently, this is great, man. My mum is 78, and she actually quite likes Gunpla or Gundams.
Oh, right.
She's like, oh, that's a nice one. Can I have it? I'm like, yeah, okay. So she's 78. She likes Gundams. Go, Mom.
Go, Mom. Yeah, that's what it's all about. Enjoying the modelling with your family.
Yes.
Yes. Right. I've just sorted things out here. Sorry.
Are you doing sorting out things?
I'm doing sorting out things. Right. Where has it go?
Trying to think
what it's that phone call. It threw me because I thought.
Do you want me to fill some time while you?
No, it's all right. It's all right. It's just that phone call threw me because I thought it was who.
Farnacle says she could knit for us. No.
She will have them knitted berets.
She used to do crocheting when I was. Oh, hello.
Come in. Hello, Ormington-on-Sea Home Guard. Yeah, yes, it is me. Hello, sir. Yes, sir. I understand, sir. We can. You sure? Thank you. Thank you, sir. That will please them very much, sir. Thank you, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you. Okay. Okay. Bye now.
Has the banker spoken?
It was sir. It was him. Yes. Yes,
was that he must be obeyed?
We're going to do it. 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 Yes, we're going to do it. And he said, I'll screen share, not press that button because that's the one that turns it off.
Yeah, don't press that other button.
He said, how about giving this away? And if you could build it and show us what you can do with it, whether you want to turn it into a USAF.
You're not sharing again, Ted.
Am I not sharing?
No.
I didn't press the button. I didn't press that.
Unless it's just at my end, because I don't see anything apart from that.
Right, am I sharing? Right, are you guys seeing this?
Yep, it's on screen now.
It's on screen now. Right. Yeah. We're going to give this away this week. Yeah. We want to see you build it, and we want to see it on the eModels gallery, and do it however you want. Whether you want to have a different take on it, whether you want to build it like this, the T3 transporter bus. Yeah, something different, something nice.
I have selected a phrase.
Go for it.
The way it works, as with all of these giveaways, we will give you a phrase to put in the comments. You need to basically, to give a chance for people who don't watch the live stream live, you just need to put, wow, I didn't even use real words then. To give a chance for people that don't watch the live stream live, we run this for a whole week, and then next Monday before the show, we'll pick a random winner. All you need to do is, once this live stream is finished, not before, give it about 10 or 15 minutes, and then as soon as the live stream becomes a video you can watch on the eModels YouTube channel, go and add a comment to it. Don't do it in the chat now, because that's not where we're going to look. But give it about 10 or 15 minutes, because once this stream finishes, it takes about that long for the video to go up on YouTube. So quarter hour after, when the stream finishes, go and make a cup of tea, come back, go to the eModels YouTube channel, and it'll be there on the front page. All you need to do is put a phrase on there, and you need to type "pack my camper." Now, I've put it in the chat for people in the live chat, but just "pack my camper." We don't mind if you spell it a little bit wrong or stick an exclamation mark on the end, but we want to see you put "pack my camper." That's what we want to see in the comments, and we'll come along next Monday and pick one of those comments at random. Yeah.
I remember what we're going to do now, instead of changing the eModels live stream page back to its holding page, what we call the holding page, we're going to leave this video up until next week, so you can find it in there as well. So
we're going to do that from now on. Actually, traditionally when you go to the eModels webpage for live streams, it would just be a thing saying, "Hey, come every Monday." We're going to leave this video, like Tex says, on that page now all week until the next show. So anybody can watch. You've got a whole week to watch it. If you're watching it on the eModels website, emodels.co.uk/live, and you want to enter this competition, again, just click on the YouTube link. It'll take you to the YouTube video for the stream. Although it's a few days old, you can put your comment on there. You'll see a load of other people commenting.
Yep, that's
you need to put "pack my camper." Sounds rude. I kind of just made it up, and now I realise it sounds a bit rude.
Pack my camper. Yeah.
Pack my camper.
Slap it on. Slap it on.
Johnny FM and the rest of that catchphrase. Moving on. Yeah.
Moving on. Yeah. So
Carl from Maker Models to say "oh matron."
Oh matron.
Simon O'Callaghan says comment. Dan from Bashing Kit says "nice one, Pete, mate."
Yeah. Brilliant. Good. So yeah, got to stay to the end, because you never know what's happening. Now we've got
this is why you need to not leave halfway through, because we don't always know when we're going to have a giveaway. Sometimes we just do it anyway, and sometimes it is Pete, mate, actually sending us a message or calling us saying, "Can you give this away?" So you need to stay to the very end. We've had him pop up just as we're about to hit the stop button, say, "Give this kit away quick." Oh. So we're staying to the end.
Oh yeah. I think we've about got to the end now. We've been here.
What time are we on? We are on 10 past the 22s.
Yeah, and it's dark now. It's dark now outside because it's autumn.
Awesome. Amazon are sending me some soap flakes. I ordered some soap. I actually did order some soap flakes. I'll tell you what, because I've got my old vintage World War II M1943 paratrooper jacket, and you can't wash it in normal stuff because it'll bleach the colour out. So I thought, I need to wash it in soap flakes. Have you any idea how hard it is to actually find just soap flakes nowadays in a shop? It's really hard.
Yeah, you need to know where to look. Yeah. I don't think we'll discuss afterwards, but you can get it.
Yes.
You can grind your own soap flakes
by just grinding soap. But it's got to have no bleaches or chemicals in it, because it will take the dye out, apparently.
Fairy soap, bar soap, grind it on a cheese grater, and you've got soap flakes. I know these things.
Domestic tip, life hacks from eModels.co.uk.
I put the chicken in and put the laundry out. So yes, that's what happens. I do all that sort of stuff. Right, I think the phone looks like it's not going to ring again. So we've had a giveaway. Yeah, a surprise giveaway. We've not done that. So I think it's about time to round it up. If everybody's out there, I'll check that there's no emails. Barry Toomey says, Ted, what is the best paint for World War II planes? And have you or Foxx ever used True Earth paints? Tar.
Never heard of them.
Never heard.
Obviously not.
No, I can't say I've heard. I think I've heard of them. I think I've heard them, but I don't know in what context I've heard them. What is the best paint for World War II planes? It's really depending on what sort of make you're happy with.
Yeah.
You can buy World War II paints depending on what aircraft you're doing, German or English or Japanese. You can buy them in
there is a company called Hacker, which is available on the eModels website. They do a few specific RAF colour scheme paints. They're very good. And I think AK and MiG also do. I can't remember if they're RAF specific or they're just generic World War II, say, Allied plane colours. But yeah, have a look around at your Hacker, your MiG, and your AKs.
Yeah,
Hacker are the new kids on the block. They've only been going for a couple of years, I think, over here that we've known about them, but they are actually really, really good. So they're worth checking out.
Some of the kits you might find there's an extra paint in there that you don't actually need, but what's the harm in having an extra paint just stuck on the shelf for that moment? So.
There is actually I think it might be a Hacker set. I could be wrong, but there's a set for pink reconnaissance Spitfires.
Yeah,
which is kind of cool.
Everything's out there. Yeah, have a look on the eModels website. Just eModels.co.uk. All the stuff's on there. If they haven't got it, you probably don't need it.
I think there is actually an option for paint sets, but I can't remember.
Yeah, there is.
Paints. Let's have a look. Is the one? Humbrol paints. It's Hataka. Sorry, I pronounced it wrong. Hataka. Hataka. Hataka acrylic paints. They're very good. Yeah. But yes, there are various paints. I say mostly AK ammo and Hataka that do specific sets of paints. So you should be in quite good stead. MiG take great pride in getting their colours about right, as do Hataka, I think, in trying to get the colours as accurate as possible. But just remember, the rivet counters may shout at you, but paint colours varied all throughout the war. There is no correct Dunkelgelb. I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, we'll leave it at that. And on that note, I think we'll say good night to everybody. So, good night. Good night, everybody.
Bye. Good night, everyone. Thanks for watching.
Yeah, I'm going to make a phone call now. All right, I'll see you in a moment. Bye.
Hello, can I have a deep dish with pepperoni, please?
Yeah, I just get the number right. What's the number for eModels again? Yeah. Okay, everybody. Goodbye now. Goodbye. Bye.